The world stands at a crossroads. Our planet is facing an unprecedented climate crisis, one that threatens our environment, our economies, and the future of generations to come. But amid these challenges, a powerful movement is rising, the global climate action movement. One of the most powerful forces driving climate action today is the youth. In 2018, a Swedish teenager named Greta Thunberg started skipping school on Fridays to protest outside the Swedish parliament, calling for stronger climate policies. This simple act sparked a global movement, Fridays for Future, rallying millions of young people worldwide to demand urgent action.
We're not going to wait for others to fix this. This is our future. If we don't act now, there won't be a future.
It's about standing up for the planet and for the generations who will have to live with the consequences of our decisions today.
From the streets of Europe to the slums of Africa, youth climate strikes have become a symbol of collective action and a cry for a sustainable future. While youth activism garners global attention, climate action is also deeply rooted in local communities. Around the world, grassroots movements are challenging the status quo, advocating for climate justice and pushing for changes in policy that address both the environmental and social dimensions of the crisis.
In many of our communities, we are already feeling the impacts of climate change: droughts, floods, and food insecurity. Climate action isn't just an environmental issue, it's a question of survival.
In regions like sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia, communities are leading the charge on sustainable agriculture, conservation, and renewable energy, showing the world that climate solutions must be inclusive and equitable. Indigenous peoples have been at the forefront of environmental stewardship for centuries. From the rainforests of the Amazon to the frozen landscapes of the Arctic, indigenous communities have long understood the interconnectedness of nature and human life.
Our lands are being destroyed by the same industries that are contributing to climate change. But we have a deep connection to the earth. We know how to protect it, and we are ready to share our knowledge with the world.
Indigenous movements are not only calling for the protection of their land, but also advocating for a new paradigm in climate policy, one that recognizes the wisdom of traditional ecological knowledge and prioritizes the rights of indigenous peoples. At the international level, climate action has also taken shape through treaties and agreements, with the Paris Agreement of 2015 standing as the most significant milestone. Nations around the world committed to limiting global temperature rise to below 2 degrees Celsius, with an aspiration to keep it below 1.5 degrees.
The Paris Agreement was a historic step forward.
This video was proudly sponsored by One Browser. Don't miss out. One Browser is the must-have tool of 2024. Try it now. The link is in the description below.
But it is only the beginning. Now, the challenge is translating these agreements into concrete actions. Governments, businesses, and individuals must all take responsibility.
However, despite these ambitious agreements, the world is still falling short in meeting the targets necessary to prevent catastrophic climate change. The urgency of climate action has never been clearer. While policy and grassroots movements play a critical role, technology is also a powerful ally in the fight against climate change. From wind and solar energy to electric vehicles and carbon capture technologies, the shift toward cleaner, more sustainable energy sources is accelerating. Renewable energy expert. Technology is advancing rapidly. Solar energy is becoming more affordable, wind power is more efficient, and electric vehicles are taking over our streets. The transition to a clean energy future is not just possible, it's happening. At the heart of the climate action movement is the call for climate justice, recognizing that those who contribute least to climate change are often the most vulnerable to its impacts. Climate change exacerbates inequality, disproportionately affecting marginalized communities, particularly in the global south. Climate justice advocate. The countries that have historically emitted the most greenhouse gases are the ones least affected by climate change. It's time for them to step up and help those who are bearing the brunt of this crisis. The climate movement is more than just a protest or a series of rallies. It is a collective call to action, a reminder that every individual has a role to play in the future of our planet. Whether it's reducing carbon footprints, supporting sustainable businesses, or advocating for policy changes, each act of climate action counts. Local activist change starts with us. We are the ones who have the power to create a different future, one where the planet is respected, protected and cared for. The fight against climate change is not easy and it will not be won overnight, but together we can rise to the challenge. With hope, action and solidarity, we can protect the planet, safeguard our future and create a world where climate justice is a reality for all. The time for change is now. Will you answer the call?